Hi everybody and welcome back to Cursed Couple Gaming. Tonight we've got a tutorial to map the PXN arcade fight stick with Farming Simulator 19. It's a great little panel, it's a lot cheaper than the expensive ones you can buy. If you like the video, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, really appreciate it, and enjoy. Right, the first thing I've done so far, as you can see, I've pretty much brought like your normal sort of generic machines that you use. The front loader, a tractor, beet harvester, combine, and then sort of few, regular bits of equipment like fertilizer, spreader, sprayer, set of mowers, all that kind of stuff really. Right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to program the combine, okay? So what we need to do is we're going to open up the menu here. And then we're going to go down to gamepad. Now as you can see, I'm using a Logitech steering wheel and gear stick as well, and I've already programmed the buttons for these, and they just do the sort of usual tasks, opening your store menu, opening your game menu, scrolling through your vehicles, radio on and off, cab view, all that kind of stuff. But what we're going to do first is, it's quite cool on this button panel because you've got a switch here which allows you to switch between this stick being like an analog stick or a D-pad. But the good thing about that is, if we put it on the analog stick for example, we can program a set of controls for that I personally do it so that's applied to every vehicle, and then we can switch it to this, and then you can have sort of individual controls for different stuff you're using, such as a sprayer or the beet harvester arm, like controlling the angle of it, and front loader, all that kind of stuff. But basically what we're going to do first is, well, what I do, I like to have it set to the analog stick, okay? And then we're going to go down to, let's have a look. Find it in a minute. Right, accelerate. So in this second row of controls here, I'm going to click that, and I'm going to click forward on the stick. Now that's made that, so when we push forward on that stick, we'll accelerate. Same here, click on the brake, click back. Now the good thing about that is, because we've got two rows, I can use either the pedals on the pedal box, or I can use the stick on the gamepad. I like to do it because it's more like a sort of realistic in a combine where you'd have like a hydrostatic throttle control and things like that. Then what I like to do is, I go down to cruise control, which I believe is down the bottom somewhere. I need to delete these as well. Right, where is cruise control? Here we go, toggle cruise control. So what I'll do is I'll click on that, and when I do it, I like to I'll click it to the right. So now that should, in theory, put the cruise control in. And then what I like to do is, on the left hand control, I have it to lower and lift all tools. The reason I do that is because basically on the combine the only tool you have is the actual header, so that'll only lift the header, it won't do anything else. The other option is you can have that as just lift a single tool. So if you're using on a tractor, say, you could lift your cultivator up and down, but I like to map the lift only one tool to another button, but I'll show you that in a little while. So I'm going to click that left for now. Right, so them controls now should be saved. Now, so if we go to the combine now, forward, accelerate, back, stop, right cruise control, and when we attach the header in a little while, you'll see that I lift the header up and down. Now if we switch to, say, the beet harvester, we'll do the same thing. Yeah, we switch to tractor, same thing again. Now I like to leave that control so it does that for all my vehicles. So what I'll do now is I will switch this switch here to the D-pad setting, And what we're going to do now, we're going to do the front loader, okay? Again, we want to open up our game menu, go down to gamepad, and this time we want to find the controls for the front loader. Let's have a look. So we want to lift front loader. I'm going to have it so I pull back. Lower front loader arm, push forward, and then a lift front loader tool. I'm going to push it to the left, and for the other way to tip it out, I'm going to push to the right. So now again, if we go to this, and we scroll around, in theory, if we've got this right, up, down, yeah, tip, and lift, okay? And then all you do, look, if I switch back to the D-pad now, I mean to the analog stick, it'll do that instead. So therefore, for that one vehicle now, I've got two mappings on that one stick. Right. So now what we'll do, we'll go back to the combine now, and we're going to do it the fold for it at the moment. Now what I like to do is on mine, fold tool. Sometimes what you find you might need to do is do some cross-referencing. So for example, if you look at the top left of the screen, to unfold a tool is X. So what we'll do is when we open up this menu here, find where your X is, and that's known as tool function 2. So it might pay you to actually write that down somewhere, so you know for later on fold tool is the equivalent of, say, tool function 2. Now I'll quickly show you what I've done there. I've actually written everything down on mine, and I've actually drawn some sketches on the left hand side here of what all the different stuff will eventually do, but I'm going to show you guys all that now in a minute, okay? So what we'll do is, we'll go to gamepad, we'll go down to tool function 2, click here, and I have it as on mine as the green button here. Again, I quite like these 4 coloured buttons because if you ever look in a tractor, they do tend a lot of time to have full spool controls, and they do tend to be colour coded, so I think it works quite well myself. Okay, so what we'll do is now we've done that, we can go back again, and now press that in theory, combine will now fold, you see. And again, that will work for any vehicle you go in now, with a beet harvester, if you've got a sprayer on the back, cultivator, whatever. When you press fold now, that will unfold and fold the vehicle via that button. So next thing we need to do, we need to be able to attach a tool. Okay? So for example, if we now drive up to the combine header, right, so the Q is to attach. So now if we open our menu up again, look for Q, and that is known as attach tool anyway, so that one's nice and obvious. So we look for attach tool, which is here, and on mine I like to have it as the purple button. So I'll hit that, again we go back, hit that now, so now we've got a header attached, okay? Now what we need to do, we need to be able to select the header. So what we need to do now is program a button for tool select. So again, go to gamepad, we're going to find tool select, or select tool I believe it's called, up here somewhere, which is here. Again, on mine I like to have it as this R3 button up here. Okay, so we'll do that. Again, exit. See now, if you look in the top left of the screen, you can see it switching behind between the combine and the header. So we're on the header, we hit our fold button. Okay, so now the header is attached, we're all folded. So what we need to do now, we need to be able to start the combine up, don't we? So we'll select the combine. Right, B is to turn on harvester. So again, open your menu, look for B. Yeah, that's known as tool function 1. So again, we want to make a note of that. Then go to gamepad, tool function 1, which is here. And I like to have it as the red one here. So again, we exit. Our combine's going up and down, yeah? Now this is what I mean about, I've got it set as lift all tools at the moment when it's on here on the analog sticks. Now if I hit that, if I select the right one that is, that'll lift my header up and down as well now, look. Okay, again the exact same principle will work for the beet harvester, lifting the header up and down, turn the machine on and off. Again, seed drill, fertilizer sprayer, a set of mowers, whatever, that will turn it on and off. Right, the next thing we need to be able to do then is I like to be able to adjust the end of the auger pipe, and I also like to be able to adjust my reel up and down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch that to the D-pad setting because that's our setting that we vary, whereas the other setting is specifically for going forward, backward, cruise and lift our tools up. I'm going to go in the menu here, I'm going to go to gamepad, and we're going to look for lift the reel, I believe it's along those lines for the combine. Down here somewhere. Yeah, so we've got raise. I don't worry about the extend and retract, you can put that on the button if you want, put it on your keyboard, do whatever. So we're going to raise it, we're going to lift it up, we're going to lower it, push it forward. Okay, now pipe up and pipe down, I can't remember which one of these is which, we're going to have to do some experimenting here. I believe it would possibly be, I want to say pipe 2. So we'll move them to the left and the right, see what that does when we get in the combine. So let's have a look now. So you can see our reel goes up and down. Right, no, so we've got that one wrong for the actual end of the combine pipe. So what we'll do is go back, go gamepad, down to our where are we? Gone by it? No, right, so we'll go to our pipe here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove these two controls. So pipe up and pipe down, so I'm going to go so left for that and right for the other one. It's very important when you're doing these mappings that you don't do buttons that end up interfering with each other. For example, I didn't want to do the extend and retract the reel and then do these two controls as well, because then you'll have two things happening at the same time that you don't really want happening at the same time. Right, that's still not worked. Let me have a look. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. We've selected the header, not the combine, haven't we? There we go. So that's working. Now I'm going to leave that like that, because what we can actually do, when we get in the beet harvester now, a bit tight for space here. Right, let's see if we can attach this. There we go. Right. Unfold. Well, what we're going to do now, we need to map a button for putting our pipe in and out, and that will also apply to the combine. So again, we're going to go to gamepad now. Look for pipe out, I believe it's called. Further up. There we go, toggle pipe. Now for me, I like to have that on this button here. So again, we'll go back now. That'll come in and out. Same with the combine. Pipe in and out. We'll go back to the beet harvester now. I'm going to leave the D-pad switch on this switch here. Now we should already have that will move. Look, we've already programmed that for the combine. It does the same thing for the beet harvester. But with the beet harvester, that pipe can also go up and down. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to controls again, gamepad, and then we will move our pipe up and down. So this one, so we'll pipe up, pipe down. So now if we go back, beet harvester, pipe up, pipe down, in, out, switch to D-pad. Yeah. And what we're going to do now then, we're going to program our beacons and headlights next. These are relatively quick and easy to do. So we're going to go to our gamepad. We're going to look for a, let's have a look, where we're going. We'll do toggle work first actually. So I like to have that on this button here. Okay. And then we have dump, which is obviously dumping your crop or emptying a fertilizer spread or whatever. I like to put that on this button here. There we go, toggle lights. So these are our headlights. I like to put it on this switch here. And toggle beacon lights. I like to put the lights on this one here. Okay. And then next what we're going to do, all things like these work modes and that as well, they can all be programmed to buttons, but again, they're sort of, it's your own personal preference to where you want to put them really. So lower tool, a single tool, I like to put on this button here. Right. Open and close cover. Now I've got it on this switch here. And what I've also got on this switch here is toggle steering mode. Because that way, they're two controls that shouldn't really ever conflict with one another. Okay. Dump on ground. I'm also going to put that as the same as the tip trailer button. Work modes as well here. You can program to some buttons to whatever you know, whatever your preference is. Unload again, I'm going to put that as the same as the trailer because they're all the same sort of control and they shouldn't overlap with various vehicles that you're using. The same with the analog stick again, walk backwards and forwards. Look, that'll already do it for you. So now when we get out of our vehicle, we can use the stick to walk around as well if we want to. Right, what else have we got? Let's have a look. Hire worker. I'm also going to switch this back to the D-pad now, and we can program our sprayer arms to go up, sprayer arms to go down. The cruise control, I've just left that on the the keyboard for now. Toggle the straw, I've got that on the options button here. I've also got the toggle work mode on this one with the straw on the options button. That shouldn't, because they shouldn't overlap. They haven't overlapped when I've used them. Right, let's see where we are about here. So now if I go back, for example, let's try hire a worker. So look, it will let you do a worker. Look, there's nothing for him to do. We've got beacons, got headlights. Can these apply to all vehicles? What else have we got? We also want, the one other thing I want to show you is getting the tractor. Now this is the function I was on about with lifting all tools. So we can drive up to that, going to attach it. Attach that. Right, we can fold both of these now, so we can fold this one, select tool, fold that one. Wait until they're both down, and then got the analog stick here. Obviously we can go forward, backward, and what I was on about lower all tools at start, they will now lower together, and obviously bring them back up. And then obviously, because you've got them singly here, if you want to, you can just lower one, switch between which one you want to lower. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to detach these. Now we're going to hook up to the fertilizer spreader. I'm just going to stick it on the front because it's just easier for now. Attach it. Now, did I toggle that to open the cover or not? Yep, I have. So that we can thingy that now. Open our cover. And what I can do quickly, if I nip in the shop here, and I will buy a bag of fertilizer. Buy that. Yes. Okay. Go back, back, and back. Right, so we're going to open our cover up, which is that one. I think this should be easy just to drive around the outside of this, so not going to crash. Now that should give us the option to fill this now. Right, to refill the fertilizer spreader is R. Now we need to check what that function is. So R is activate object, look. So if we go to gamepad now and activate object, and I've put fill on the home button here, he says. Okay, maybe that one doesn't want to work. If not, I'll put that on then. I'll put that on my Logitech panel for now. So that'll be that on the steering wheel. And I'll delete the camera view one just for the moment. I might be able to put the camera one actually on the home button. Let's try and see if it'll work that way around. No, that doesn't want to work for some reason. Okay. So anyway, go back now. We should be able to press the button, and now that'll start filling the fertilizer spreader. And in theory, if we hit this button, it will empty it. Same principle will apply for the sprayer. Anything with lime in it, basically anything you have to fill up, you can empty with them buttons now. Same with tip and trailer, that button will work the same. And yeah, I think that is pretty much it, to be honest. Any program you do, make sure you're not doing controls that can conflict each other when you're driving a machine, for example. Like you don't want to hit lower all buttons and then your weight block goes down with whatever you've got on the back, do you know what I mean? So you need to make sure you've got the right buttons programmed in the right places. Make a note of where you programmed your buttons like I have, so if you ever lose any functions, which you can do with this panel by the way, if you watch at the end of this video you'll see what I'm talking about. I've put a little bit on there about one issue that I have had on a very rare occasion. Just make sure you've got a note of everything basically, so it's nice and easy to reprogram and recover your buttons. Again, have a play around with it, program it how you want to do it. Yeah, I hope you sort of enjoyed the tutorial. I hope it's been helpful. Right, this seems to be the only occasional issue I've had with this button panel, and that is it should be recognising it as a fight stick like this, because that's what's designed to do basically, you know, for like arcade games such as Tekken and that kind of stuff. But I've had this thing now where it will start recognising it as an X input gamepad. Now this only seemed to start happening when I plugged in a Xbox controller into my PC at the same time, so it makes me wonder if it's something to do with that. The other cause it could be is the actual button panel itself is designed to be used on consoles and plugged into a Xbox controller, so it makes you wonder if it's the actual panel itself perhaps that's doing it. And the other thing, I do unplug it quite regularly to like put in other USB devices, so that makes you wonder if it's sending it all a little bit haywire. This is only sort of a very rare occurrence that this does happen, but and because of it, basically all your mapping sort of goes wrong and not what you've originally programmed it for. The only actual sort of solution I've found so far, unfortunately, is to basically click on the input and delete it, and basically work your way through them all, delete them all, and then reprogram them. But if you've sort of ripped down your button mappings like I showed you in the video, it should be relatively quick and easy to reprogram your buttons. Other than that, the panel's been great, and that's the sort of the only odd sort of very rare issue that I have had.